of series right across the 80s where he became Prime Minister, and Sir Humphrey was basically his civil servant. I mean, I don't know what that... There's a long thing near the beginning about the number of secretaries, under-secretaries and over-secretaries and secretaries, and then it ends with a joke, and who's that? That is your actual secretary. So, he and the two of them, it was a great satire, and one for our time, because it's about how the government wants to do one thing and the civil service wants to do another, and a perfect sitcom, because nothing ever changes. Wherever they are at the beginning of each episode, they end up exactly the same position at the end of it, because they have this struggle through their lives to try and get things done.
Absolutely. And the new play is written by Yes Minister co-creator Jonathan Lynn.
It is.
And it's called I'm Sorry, Prime Minister. Yes. But Jim isn't in politics anymore.
No, of course not. I'm actually, I mean, you know, you may have noticed I'm ageing up. And
Barely, Griff.
Barely.
I know, but I mean, sort of the real challenge for me is I'm playing somebody a good deal older than me who is now at the very tail end of sort of like, well, existence. But he finds himself in a terrible trouble and needs help. And so he sends for the only person he can get in touch with, which is Sir Humphrey, who is also sort of down on his uppers, and the two of them get together to fight a battle. And that's what the play is about. But in the meantime, they never get on with fighting the battle because they want to refight all the battles that they had in the past. So for fans of the programme, we sort of go over some, and fans of politics of the last 40 years, we do go over a few issues and sort them out again.
Fantastic.
And we look forward to a sort of, you know, a new world.
Well, I know you're a big fan of the original sitcom, but everyone always has a favourite scene of theirs whenever it comes to their favourite sitcom. There's one scene in particular that gets you every time. Yes. Is that right?
What I loved about it is the whole point about the two of them, and they live in a world in which they keep themselves very restrained. But at one point, Jim manages to pull one and takes away Sir Humphrey's key to number 10. We're not actually doing, like, impersonations.
Yes.
We are everybody says this to me. I said, would you want more of an impersonation of Paul Eddington? They said, no, don't do that.
Do your own thing,
You do your own thing. You have to be a new Prime Minister, of course.
So big shoes to fill, but who better to fill them? Because Yes Minister has its place in comedy history, you know.
Would have been nothing without us, I think, if we hadn't been there. But if you remember, do you remember from the film, they go away and they rehearsed in order to be a real hit for 3 weeks. And Mel rehearsed for 3 seconds with me before he arrived and said, what are we doing, mate? And I said, oh, look, here's a...
Sounds like working with Paddy.
I came down to the train. Here, look, say this when we go on. And Mel goes, OK, love. And off we go. And it was, yes.
And he had that photographic memory, didn't he?
Okay, he did. He was very, very quick on the uptake. I remember it, of course, 40 years ago, because, you know, Mel... Well, he as soon as we finished, he sat down and he went, well, there we are, mate, I'm off. And, and I said, Mel, I skipped my child's christening to be here, and you're leaving. And so all it does is help me this year to remember exactly how old George is. Yeah. He's 40 because I scripted.
I always love hearing about those comedy partnerships and, you know, how they work together. I mean, Paddy, we've got to talk to you about, obviously, working with Peter Kay, Phoenix Nights, Max and Paddy. I mean, what was that workload like between the two of you?
Well, you use the word work very loosely. Yeah. It's probably similar to what Griff said, where Pete were doing all the graft and I'd rock up and go, right, so let's go, let's do it. But just say, because I was a fan of Smith and Jones growing up, there was one particular one, I can't say it fully on this show, but one of my favourites is when it's the opera singer who tags a word on the end. Do you remember that one? That was hilarious. Not for the one show audience, but if you Google it on YouTube, I don't even...
just don't tell them what to type in.
Opera singer.
Fine.
It's hilarious.
There you go. OK. Well, you can see Griff in I'm Sorry, Prime Minister at the Apollo Theatre in London from the 30th of January to the 9th of May, and episodes of Yes Minister